Ohio State is once again active on the recruiting trail with another addition to its 2026 recruiting class. Aaron Thomas, the three-star offensive lineman out of Arizona, number 439 player, number 36 offensive tackle in the country, chooses the Buckeyes over Texas A&M, Florida State, and Washington. I'm Stephen, and that's Andrew. Tyler Warren, another addition here. Not necessarily the most explosive addition, obviously, when you've already got a couple of top 100 recruits in your backyard committed. You've also got Tucker Smith. But when you're looking for the numbers, it does seem like this is a quality addition from maybe a depth standpoint and a guy who maybe is a little bit more developmental and maybe can help Ohio State later down the line.
Yeah, Tyler Bowen, I think, has done a really good job. And this is kind of the vision kind of coming together. One of the things that, I wrote about this for the site at cleveland.com. One of the things that people stress to me and probably stress to you as well, and probably stress to other people, is it is about development now at the college level, right? You cannot just go stack 5-star, 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 4-star in your room and then say, we're done. Like, it's a different game, right? It's a different landscape, and it's a different way that these things are done. So you have Sam Greer, who has made some news and made some headway at the Rivals camp, and I think he's kind of proving that he's a really, really good football player, and Ohio State fans should be very excited to have him. You have, you mentioned Tucker Smith, another Arizona kid. You have Maxwell Riley. Now you add Thomas. Thomas is your second true tackle in this class, and you say, okay, you have Thomas, you have Greer, you got Riley and Smith on the interior. Riley has played everything for his high school. He's played center, he's played tackle, he's played guard. When Ohio State gets his hands on him, I think he's going to be a guard or an interior guy. Tucker Smith has been told to be ready to play guard or center. So now you have another true tackle. And I think if you were to kind of map out maybe where this team needed some depth on the offensive line, true tackles are that. We talk a lot about, well, they're kicking Saraveld out to tackle this year, and Phillip Daniels is probably a tackle, but can he be? You don't want that. You want guys who, this is a tackle. This is what we have on the depth chart, and that's what Ohio State's getting with Thomas. You're getting an athletic kid, 6'7", 300 pounds. Tyler Bowen loves him some size on the offensive line. I mean, go look at the kids that he's recruiting and the kids that he has committed. Massive human beings, literally and figuratively, in their recruitment. So this to me is a big deal for Ohio State, because this is now more recruits committed in the 2026 class than they had in the 2025 class. As I look at my phone, it is June 25th. It is June 25th. Aaron Thomas commits on Wednesday night, and Ohio State has 4 now. They had 3 in 25. I mean, the numbers kind of speak for themselves. I think the recruits kind of speak for themselves. And that's nothing to say of Jake Cook, who I know has, turned some heads early, and Carter Lowe and Javen McFadden. Like, that's a solid group. But it took me 3 seconds to say their names. And now with this group, you're expanding outward. You're getting different types of players. You're getting different types of body types. Ohio State has now gone into Arizona twice to land 2 kids. This is big, and this is a nice ad for Tyler Bowen.
So he's a true tackle, as you said, 6'7", 300 pounds. Let's map out the trajectory of his career here. Is this a guy where, the way we're talking about Carter Lowe in 2025, where, hey, man, can you push and get into the two deep and set yourself up to be a starter in 2026? Is this a Josh Fryer trajectory where the first couple of years are about development, and then you get to year 3 and it's like, okay, can you start to push for some playing time? Could this guy have a DeJuan Jones trajectory where it still took him 3 years to get on the field, but if he pops, he's going to be kind of awesome? And DeJuan Jones was awesome. His draft stock maybe fell because of the way maybe he handled the draft process more than it was because of his own individual play. And he's been a starter for the offensive line of the Cleveland Browns for the last couple of years here. What type of trajectory should fans be looking for Aaron Thomas to be on when he gets here?
I like that Josh Fryer comp. You know what? You're not going to see anything out of Aaron Thomas in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. I'm sorry. Like, this is an offensive tackle that is not, again, I don't think this is any disrespect. He's not that Jackson Cantwell type of prospect, the number 1 tackle in the class, where you look at it and say, he's going to start day 1 or he's going to play day 1. He's just not that, and that's fine. Most offensive linemen, by the way, are not that unless you absolutely have a dire situation. So I don't think you're going to see him in 26. I don't think you're going to see him in 27 because, if this guy's a tackle, I mean, we're talking about the offensive tackle depth at Ohio State. They're going to need some bodies there because Carter Lowe is still going to be here. Saraveld's still going to be here. Ian Moore's still going to be here. But then after that, I don't know what you're working with. So I think having a 2026 season with, maybe Sam Greer is somebody that probably finds his way into the two deep. I think that's probably the player that we're going to be talking about in his freshman year of like, hey, maybe we get to the end of the year and this guy's their fourth tackle and we're talking about him taking that leap. I don't think we're going to be there with Aaron Thomas in his first year or two. I think this is a third year guy where you look at and you see a lot of athleticism. You see a really good mover at the edge. This is like that pass protecting offensive tackle, right? This is, I think, somebody that when Chip Kelly showed up here in 2024, he was asked about Ohio State's offensive linemen, and he said, one of the things that really stands out to me about this group is how athletic they are and how quickly they move and how you can get them in space. This is that type of lineman to me. This is what I see on film. So to me, I think that this is going to be a little bit of time for Ohio State fans, just kind of keep this one in the back pocket. But in 2028, I think this is probably a player that you should probably start to take notice of in his third season.
3-star recruit out of Phoenix, as Andrew mentions, he joins Tucker Smith as kids from Arizona on the offensive line committed to Ohio State's recruiting class. So 2 Arizona guys, and Aaron Thomas and Tucker Smith, and 2 Ohio guys, and Sam Greer and Maxwell Riley in a class where Andrew thinks that 5 might be the bare minimum in terms of how many offensive linemen Ohio State adds in its 2026 recruiting class. Get the text 614-350-3315. It's a 2-week free trial, $3.99 after that, and it's a good time to get
subscribe
button. Smash that subscribe button. Yeah, turn on those notifications, all those things you do on YouTube, and go listen to Buckeye Talk wherever you find podcasts. Ohio State adds another addition to its 2026 recruiting class. Aaron Thomas, the number 439 player, and number 36 offensive tackle in the country, a 3-star recruit out of Phoenix, Arizona. He's Andrew. I'm Steven. Deuces.